Hi, my name's James McGrail. I'm the chair of the Sandwich School Committee. Glad to be here today, joined by Dr. Gould in a first of a series of podcasts, videocasts that I'm going to do to discuss different topics, different things that are coming up at the school committee in Sandwich here, different things that are coming up in our town, different things in the schools, a number of different things. Actually, I'm not really exactly sure yet where the direction of this program is going to go, but I think it's a great opportunity for me to get the word out on different things that are issues that we have. And, anytime we have the opportunity to better inform the citizens and residents of Sandwich, I think that's a good thing. So thank you very much, Dr. Gould, for coming today.
You're welcome for having me.
So I was thinking for the first of our of the series that I'm going to do here, I thought we could talk about the budget process. Obviously, it's January, and we're knee deep in the middle of this budget. Hopefully we have a meeting this evening. If anyone's listening live, we have our school committee meeting tonight at 7 o'clock with the purpose of going over, reviewing the school committee budget, the proposed budget from Dr. Gould. And on the agenda this evening is a vote to accept the budget and take it over as a school committee budget and present it to the Board of Selectmen. So kind of a big night for us tonight.
Big night.
Especially your first budget here in Sandwich.
Yes.
It's been an interesting month for us. We've learned a lot. We've gone through a lot of this process. This is our fourth meeting.
Fourth week in a row.
Specifically based off the budget, fourth in a row, and we've definitely had a lot of questions and concerns from the public, and I think we've addressed a lot of those. And you've done that, I think, through the budget process.
Well, and you guys have from the school committee perspective too.
Yeah, it's been an experience this month for sure. So we'll see where it goes tonight, and then we'll be off to the Board of Selectmen and the Finance Committee. So what I wanted to talk about a little bit is about, you worked in a different municipality before you worked in the Plymouth school system.
Correct.
I work for the town of Hingham, so we both worked in different municipalities and have different experiences with the budget process. And I wanted to talk a little bit about Sandwich. I think since Dr. Gould started in July and since I took over as chair this year, one of the goals that both of us had was to work to better together with the municipality side of it, with Bud side of it, and the town side of it, so that we really form a cohesive team.
Right. Less of an us versus them.
Less of an us
which is what I think
versus
we
them.
both walked into. I felt like anyway.
I did too, and I think so. For the public to know, that process with you and I started really early on.
Last summer, I think.
Yeah, and it was a commitment from the Board of Selectmen too that they wanted to do the same thing. That they had the same feelings we had.
Right.
Especially the Board of Selectmen Chair Susan James.
She's been fantastic.
Yeah.
In orchestrating all of this.
And so Susan put together a series of meetings over the summer that actually started. One of them even started prior to you coming on board in July.
Oh, okay.
And then we had like a summit.
In the end of August.
We had a summit meeting in August.
Another one in October.
Another one in October. And then we had our meeting December 1st.
Correct.
To kind of give us marching orders.
Yes.
And I want to be clear with the public, because there's a little bit of a misconception that we showed up at that meeting and were given a number we had to live with. It was a conversation, a two-way conversation that we had with the Board of Selectmen. And Bud presented us with, what he saw as a proposed budget, revenue-wise and expenses, and we kind of worked off that to see what we could afford, what the town could afford.
Absolutely.
So it wasn't really, at least I didn't take it that night that the Board of Selectmen gave us a number we had to live with. I felt
absolutely not.
We worked together to come up with what we thought would work for the town.
Right. We both work in municipalities. You always want more. If given more, you can do a million things with it. There's no, especially in education. There's no question about that. But we felt very comfortable with the number.
Yeah, and I did too. And I think we took away from it that night that, we were going to take a crack at the budget, see what we could do with the 2.5% that we had talked about that night, and then if there was new initiatives that needed to be addressed, we'd address those and bring them back to the Board of Selectmen.
Exactly.
And that's kind of where we're at.
Yep.
I know that Jim Pierce at one of our meetings had talked about putting together, if we had an extra 0.5%, what would we do with it?
Right.
And you addressed those through some of your
the things that
initiatives.
kind of got cut off in a sense of what we had to say we have to stop.
Yeah. Yeah, so to be able to, take this 2.5% budget that you've worked really hard at and present that to the Board of Selectmen with potential initiatives that if there is some money that's freed up somewhere else in the town side of it or in new revenues that Bud wasn't anticipating, that maybe that would be available to us before town meeting. So, that's the budget process that we've used in Sandwich so far this year. So from here tonight, we vote it at the school committee,
Right.
Assuming we vote it this evening at the school committee, and then we take it to the finance committee in
And that'll be
February.
in February, yep. We
Yeah,
just got
February
those note
14th.
dates
I
today,
saw
correct?
that today. And then we present it to the Board of Selectmen
Right.
After that, and then on to town meeting.
Right.
And that's pretty much the budget process for the town of Sandwich.
Right.
How does that differ from Plymouth?
A little bit. We don't, I don't think, Plymouth has a collaborative approach too, but there's less about the, as we quote unquote call it, the marching orders of a percentage, which is good and bad. I actually think having a number makes it easier in some senses, right? Because you then know what is our target and where do we have to go. If you don't know and you just go in and you think you can go up to a certain level and then the town is not on the same page as you, it creates that adversity.
Yeah.
So I actually liked that part this year.
Yeah.
As far as the process, it would take a few less meetings. It was a little bit, but they were much more into a routine of how they did things.
Yeah.
So we would present to the school committee. The FinCom would actually come sit at the table with the school committee to hear it. So it was a little bit of a different process. They would have a subcommittee in a sense. And then their town meeting, they were a representative form of town meeting, so it was a little bit different. They would have gotten, and we would have visited all of their precinct meetings. So by the time it got to town meeting, it was a little bit of less of a conversation per se, because all of the people sitting there had already heard the budget.
So in your experience in Plymouth, did that happen where the schools put together a budget that they thought would work and the Board of Selectmen came back and said, this
Absolutely.
is outside of our realm
Absolutely.
of reality?
There were times that not significant.
Yeah.
And to the credit to the superintendent at the time, he had built enough of the relationship that conversation could be happening behind,
Yeah.
not behind closed doors, because I don't want, but in the sense of, no, you can't go that far.
6% is not going to work.
Not going to work.
Yeah.
So, but then there was not a set number.
Yeah. Well,
But I do think it makes it easier for people.
Yeah, I think that, based off what you just told me, I agree. This seems to work. I mean, and
I
that was
liked
one of
it.
the conversations we
Yeah.
had on December 1st, is
Right.
we had originally talked about not coming up with a number that night,
Right.
but, it would seem like we'd be working in the wrong direction if we came up with a budget and the selectmen, we spent
Right.
all this
And we
time,
said
the whole
4%.
month,
Right.
coming
It
up
just
with
makes
this.
it take longer, because if we come in at 4%, which we very easily could have done, and then they said, well, the most we can do is 2.5%, now you're back to the table all over again. It helped our administrative team, and I want to be clear, you had said something I created. I didn't create anything. Our entire team had worked for months. We also did a little bit of a different process where the school committee vice chair, Stephanie Hall, came in, and she actually has been part of our meetings since day one, which is a little bit of a different approach. That open door, we're not hiding anything. And she's been able to watch how we've done it and sit and participate, and she's been a great help.
Yeah, I
From
think
the perspective of the school committee.
her involvement's helped the school committee understand the budget a lot
Hugely.
more throughout the process. So.
Hugely.
Well, I think that's about all the time we have for
Too
today.
bad. That
went
flew
by
by.
really fast.
We could talk for an hour, I think.
I think we probably will. We have to come up with some topics.
All right.
And, so that takes us, assuming we get through tonight, that should set us in motion to head to town meeting with our school committee budget.
Looking forward to it.
All
Get
right,
the
thank you
first
very
budget
much.
under the belt.
Yeah, that would be great. All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
WSDH Live is a production of Sandwich Community Television and WSDH Radio 91.5 FM. We are executive produced by Paula Johnson, with mixing and recording this episode by Ryan Hill. Special thanks to Dr. Pamela Gould, Jay McGrail, and the Sandwich School Committee for their time and support. Remember, as always, you can check in with Sandwich TV on Facebook, YouTube, and at our website, sandwichcommunitytv.org. And you can listen to the latest from WSDH on the air at 91.5 FM locally on Cape Cod, and online anywhere you go at tunein.com or on the TuneIn app. All you have to do is search for WSDH, and we're right there waiting for you. Thank you for listening, local, and we'll catch you next time for more WSDH Live.